What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our ACC football channel.
Louisville surprised a lot of people in 2019 when they not only made it to a bowl game, but they won that bowl game and got to 8 wins. Schedule, maybe that was part of it. The ACC, of course, down right now, and I think Louisville took advantage of that. In the non-conference, they lost their 2 biggest games, Notre Dame and Kentucky, but they did beat Virginia, the top team out of the Coastal, and they still had to play Clemson, so they still played a fairly decent schedule. It's obviously not their fault that the ACC is down right now, but they did, again, take advantage of that, and I think they have a chance to really maybe push their way up towards the top of that Atlantic Division this upcoming season if they can continue to improve. Will the schedule set up in a way that they'll have a great opportunity to do that? Well, let's take a look at it. Here is the schedule. They open up on a Thursday night against NC State at home. That'll be a very nice way to start off the season. You get a conference game playing at home. I like their chances in that game against NC State. But then in week 2, it's on the road at Clemson. So they open up the year with 2 conference games, which is something you rarely see with any conference. But that's what Louisville is doing. NC State and then on the road at Clemson. That'll be a challenge. And then Murray State week 3 on September 19th. Western Kentucky September 26th. So a chance to get through the month of September 3-1. Look, I don't really see this team beating Clemson. But if they're able to beat NC State, take care of business in those other 2 games, they have a chance to start off 3-1 before really getting into the meat of their ACC schedule. Syracuse on October 3rd. That's a road game. We'll see if Syracuse has improved this year. Boston College also on the road on October the 10th. And then on October 24th, they'll play Florida State. And then on October 31st, they'll play Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, I think, is going to be pretty good this year. But playing them at home, they'll have a real good shot in that game. They go into the month of November and it looks like we missed the bye week. Bye week for them is between Boston College and Florida State. So there's no game there on the 17th between Boston College and Florida State. They will have a bye week. That could bode well for them if Florida State turns out to be a pretty good team this year. They'll have 2 weeks to prepare for that game. But again, back to November, they open up with a road game against Virginia on November the 7th. They beat Virginia last year. This team will not have Bryce Perkins. It is on the road this time, though, so that could be a challenge for this team, but definitely a winnable game. Wake Forest on November 14th. On the road at Notre Dame on the 21st. So again, they will play Notre Dame this year, and this time it's on the road. Going to be a very difficult matchup, I think, for this team. And then Kentucky on November 28th to close out the season at home. Of course, the rivalry game there should be a good one this year between 2 pretty good teams. 2 teams that might even be in the top 25 at that point. We'll see how it plays out, but I do think both of those teams are going to be pretty solid. So you look at the schedule overall in the non-conference, it's the same thing they had last year. Notre Dame and Kentucky, and then you throw in Murray State and Western Kentucky. So, that's a very respectable non-conference schedule with Notre Dame and Kentucky. Notre Dame, of course, a top 15 team probably this year, and then an SEC opponent, which, of course, they play Kentucky every year. And then you look through the rest of the schedule. Who do they play out of the Coastal? Virginia Tech and Virginia. So you're getting 2 of the better teams out of that division. North Carolina, I think, could be really good this year. They don't have to worry about them or Miami, who is potentially going to be the favorite in that division, depending on how good De'Aaron King plays. So all in all, it could be worse, it could be better. And then you look at their road games in the division. You got Clemson, Syracuse, Boston College. So again, it's the ACC. It's a conference that's down a little bit right now. A conference that I think is going to be better this upcoming season. That starts with Louisville, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Miami. I think a lot of these teams are going to be improved. So all in all, I think it's not a horrible schedule. It's a schedule that's going to allow them to have a chance to win 7 or 8, maybe even 9 games. But there are enough really challenging games on here to where I don't think Louisville has any shot to probably get to 10 wins during the regular season. But still, very respectable schedule for an ACC team. This is what Louisville has ahead of them in 2020.